was a speaking of you're talking Aztec god. I was watching a thing where they were talking uh, best depiction of a certain deity, and one of them was
Quetzalcoatl,
was the best depiction of Anubis.
Anubis,
Yes,
the Egyptian god.
of death.
Well,
And what people said was that you know uh, that they would always portray Anubis as this evil person. And they're like, well, no, he was the guard. He was like he would walk the people to the afterlife, kind of the judge.
right. It's the same problem that people make whenever they depict Hades. Hades isn't evil because he's the god of the underworld. Like, he's pretty much indifferent to what happens in the underworld. Hades, you know, if you want to say Hades is evil, it's because of how he tricked Persephone into becoming his wife. And even there, that was more like, he asked Zeus for Zeus's daughter's hand in marriage, and Zeus was like, sure. And then Persephone's mom was like, hold the fuck up. Which, by the way, that's the Greek version of how we have the seasons, in case you don't know. So Hades tricked Persephone into coming to the underworld, marries her, and so the deal that got worked out was that Persephone would spend half of the year in the mortal realm and in Olympus and all that, and the other half in the underworld. When she's in the mortal realm, it's the spring and the summer. When she's in the underworld, it's the fall and the winter. Because her mom is, I want to say Demeter, but I could be wrong, and she controls the weather. And the reason that Zeus even took her up on anything is because she was like, all right, well, if you're gonna let Persephone marry your brother, I'm just fuck it. All the planets in the mortal world are gonna die. And the mortal's like, hold up, Zeus. I know this whole relationship we have isn't great, but we're all going to die if you don't do something. No one will worship you anymore. That's a problem. All right, time for the people's court here on Olympus. All right, well, I did tell my brother that he could marry her. And mom's like, what? Well, I'm her dad. So yeah, I can do that kind of thing. But I get it. You're a little pissed. And it kind of sounds like he tricked her, so we'll work something out here.
Yeah, but I mean, to that point, just because you're the embodiment of death does not make you an evil person.
Right, because they conflate it with death, like the entity that from the Black Plague is depicted as the Reaper. It's come to take your soul and dragging you to hell and all this, that, and the other.
No, the Reaper is supposed to be the person that escorts you after death.
Yeah, well.
Not. Yes, it is the omen of death, but it's not the person that I mean, that would be like if you look at the four horsemen of the apocalypse. It's they're the ones that cause the death, and then Reaper's the one that takes you down and escorts you and is there with you, so you're not going alone. Now, what happens if you don't have the money to pay the ferryman?
You don't get across.
Where do you get the money at if you're dead?
That I don't. Well, it's the coins that put in your eyes.
Oh yeah, because you have the two. That's why it's cost two.
Yeah, that's to cross the river Styx. But yeah, even if you do like the underworld in Greek mythology sucks. Unless you were a hero of some kind, you're just like one of the mindless dead, just kind of milling about. Hades doesn't give a shit what's happening to you. Persephone barely gives a shit. She's playing her own games too. But yeah, if you're one of the heroes though, now you got to understand in Greek mythology, hero does not mean the same thing we define it as.
Does it mean a wrap that you put meat in?
No. It's a doer of great deeds, but great does not mean good. Great means fantastic. So I don't remember who it is, but there's one of the Greek heroes is known for murdering a school full of children. That's what he did, and it's
great.
Yeah, it was one of those I think we lost something somewhere in there.
Well, I mean,
Hercules killed his family.
Well, he also cleaned his stables too.
Yeah, and then to make up for that, that's why he had to do the 12 labors. And then upon death, gained full divinity.
I still don't understand what cleaning the stables would have been. Everything else, okay, I get, he did some really fantastic things. No, I also don't get what's the boar. There's the boar that because I get the lion, because the lion was terrorizing things and doing things, and I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to say. It's it's an entirely different culture that had different, emphasis on certain values than we do. Some common values, obviously, because all cultures do have some common values, and we built our culture off of the Roman civilization predominantly, with several later European ideals, and the European society and the Roman civilization was built largely off Greek ideals. So, we just keep coming back to the Roman Empire, though.
Oh yeah. Yep.
But yeah, I mean, I find the Greek mythology stuff fascinating, and you know,
I only do because I played all the God of War games.
well,
I killed Persephone, and
yeah,
then Hades was a little pissed about that.
yeah, I would be too.
Because then you use her dead body to like open a door because because she's in a casket and you use it like to swing it like a pendulum.
Yeah, uh, like I said, I find that you know mythology fascinating. The Egyptian mythology is interesting. It's a little different there, but um,
Also,
until I took a class on mythology, like I didn't realize how that it evolved a lot over time. Because like there are a number of temples to Zeus, but there's only a handful, or maybe just the one to Hera. Because go far enough back, Hera is not depicted as Zeus's wife. That's like a later like revelation in their beliefs. And so that's one of the weird things that kind of shifts there over time. And it sounds like, if I understand correctly from the mythology, how Zeus wound up the Sky Father, and Hades wound up control the underworld, and Poseidon wound up over the seas. They literally drew lots as to who was going to do what. Like, I would not have let that happen if I was Zeus, because he is the powerful one, because he's the one who survived Kronos, so and then killed Kronos or castrated, depending on which version you go with, one or the other.
well,
And by that I mean like the depiction is literally,
in the God of War games, his punishment was to carry the Pandora's Temple upon his back and wander the wasteland.
you know,
And then when he screwed that up, then he was put down in Tartarus.
yeah,
But no, the one thing I remember about playing God of War and Persephone was that at one point you kill her, and then you're in oh Islam, Islam,
Elysium.
yes, and he's there with his daughter who he murdered when Ares gave him the powers of that he gave him. Accidentally killed his wife and child by accident somehow. I don't know how that worked, but has the worst quick time event I've ever played in a game, and that is he's down there with his daughter and realizes that he's got to leave because if not, all hell's gonna literally break loose. So the quick time event is pushing your daughter away like a bastard father and pushing her to the ground and then leaving. The worst quick time event ever in a game.
Oh, that's rough.
Oh, yeah, it's terrible. Because that's like his whole driving factor to want to kill the gods is that they were supposed to take away the pain. And pretty much their idea of taking it away is saying, we forgive you for what you've done.
Well,
I think he was more expecting to at least like wipe his memory. Like, well, no, you can't do that. You're the one that did it. All we can say is that we forgive you.
yeah, yeah.
And it's
Well, they got that part about Greek mythology right. Like, yeah, there's a whole lot of like, be careful what you wish for, and like prophecies that like, you can't take them the way they are. Like, they definitely mean something else.
yep.
Or like bizarre irony, like with Oedipus and his dad. So it's been a while since I've read it, but I believe Oedipus's father was told that like his son was going to kill him, something like that. So like they sent their son away someplace else, and like they told a soldier to take him out to die. Well, the soldier couldn't bring himself to do that, and either he or another soldier took him like a couple cities over and raised him, and so then like he goes back to the city he's from without knowing he's from there.
Yep.
Comes across his dad out in the middle of nowhere who acts like a jackass towards him, if I remember correctly, and so he murders him, and it's like, well, look at that, the circle of life, huh? And then goes and marries his mom.
Yep.
But doesn't know it's his mom. Then once he does find out it's his mom, he gouges his own eyes out, and she does something. And it's just all, it's literally a Greek tragedy. Yeah, yeah. That's We should definitely do what I saw someone recommended one time online, where we get people together that vaguely remember Greek mythology and try to cobble something coherent together out of it. But anyway, also on streaming, moving away from Castlevania and somehow into Greek mythology. Thank you for watching. This has been a Geek Ball video, Echoes of a Whisper. This has been a clip from one of our podcasts. The link to the actual podcast this is from is in the description of the video if you want to see the entire thing, which we obviously encourage you to do. But otherwise, if you enjoyed what you saw, a thumbs up is always appreciated. Subscriptions and all the rest is definitely appreciated. Comments, as always. But just in general, thank you for watching. Hope you liked it. And check out the other videos we have here on the channel. See you later.